Morning, how do you sum that one up?
Look, very disappointing, I think. I thought the start with the ball was really good. I think we executed our plans pretty well, but ran into someone who was red hot and just didn't adapt quickly enough, and possibly the innings of her life. But that's two we've had in this competition we haven't reacted well to. So, very disappointing. It was a good cricket wicket, I think, but they scored 40 or 50 too many, definitely. We needed to just stop the hemorrhaging there when they were going. Just needed some discipline there, and it went to custard, to be honest, and we got far too many.
And the run chase itself for you, what did you make of that? I mean, you sort of left yourself a fair amount to climb.
Yeah, look, we talked about breaking it down. They were 2 for 70 off their first 20, so we knew that the back end was going to be easier, and so we just wanted a nice platform. And obviously, I think they bowled extremely well to knock a few of us over early. The ball was swinging, and they hit the stumps, which is what we talk about doing. So that put us behind, and we always needed a platform, I think. A couple of special innings, I think, by Villani was really good for her to get away, and Alex at the end was brilliant, but just left too much too late. We needed some partnerships at the start there, as we've done all tournament, and then we could have come home with a wet sail like they did.
Meg, what was going through your mind when Harmanpreet was going full blast?
Yeah, look, it was a pretty good innings from her. I don't think we executed as well as we could have. We just sort of gave her a little bit too much to work with, and it was pretty hard ground to defend once she sort of got going. So, like Monty said, that's the second time I guess it's happened in this tournament where someone's got going and we haven't been able to stop them. So, it was a disappointing sort of second half with the ball. I guess we didn't execute as well as we could have, and not a great finish, I don't think.
She was particularly savage against your spinners in the second last over of the power play. You turned to at least bowl one over. Is that a situation where you probably would have rather having a frontline third seamer?
Oh, look, in hindsight, maybe if you had someone different, but our spinners have done a great job for us throughout the whole tournament, and it just didn't really happen today. So, I had to turn to Elise Villani there for an over just to try something different, and hope that it worked, but it didn't. I think our spinners have done a good job for us throughout the tournament, and just weren't able to be at the top of their game today.
Were you close to playing a third special seamer today? I know in previous games you said you were pretty close to getting over the line with that. Is that nearly the case today?
We spoke about it as we do every game, but we went in with the lineup that we thought was going to do the job for us, and that had done it for us throughout the whole tournament. So, it didn't really work out today, but we thought about it and we decided to go with what we thought would do the job.
The bowling attack a bit thin, and at least bowled a couple of times during the tournament, but she certainly doesn't look like a frontline bowler. And when you have someone coming at you as strong as that, and you just didn't have another option right at the end, is that a worry for your team?
Oh, look, that's always the risk when you go in with 5 bowlers. We had Elise Villani there, and even Nicole Bolton, who bowled a couple of overs throughout the tournament. But at the end of the day, I back our bowlers to do a good job and execute as well as we could have. But we didn't do that well enough today. So we knew that coming in we'd have 5 and we had to do well, and we've done that all the way through. But today we just didn't quite get it done.
Monty, was there any temptation to maybe bring some of your big hitters into the open?
No, not really. It was certainly something we thought about, but generally what's worked well in this tournament is getting the base and coming home really strongly, and our openers have done a really good job. I think they just needed up the tempo a little bit today. It was basically like a 40-over match, which we've practiced a lot back home. So once again, a foundation there. If we'd have got off to 50 runs, which we targeted in that first 10 overs with no wickets lost, I think we'd have been in a really strong position to come home and inject when we needed to. We were certainly conscious of a bit of flexibility if we got behind, and there was times there we were going to throw people up, but we decided that we'd stay the course and try and take the game as long as we could. So a lot of things go through your mind at that stage, but certainly continuity's worked well for us. Certainly the other chase that we had that was a big one, that worked well. So we just unfortunately lost wickets at crucial times when we were ready to perhaps take a power play early. We lost the wicket right on the cusp of that, so we had to reassess our plans.
Yeah, that ball from Jordan, how does that rank in balls that you faced?
Look, thought it was a good ball. I think I could have played it a little bit differently, got a bit more forward to it. But she was bowling really well up front there. Her and Panday, I think, started off really well and put a lot of pressure on us. They didn't really give us any loose balls to go for, which is what we were after. So that sort of put us on the back foot pretty early when they were able to get a couple of early wickets, and we weren't able to get that platform which we were hoping to get.
This is the second world event that Australia has not gone on to win. A bit of a dip in the graph on Australian standards. How do you summarize this last few months, and where do you go from here?
Oh, look, it's definitely a very disappointing finish to the tournament. We came here to win, and we're not going to get the chance to play off in the final. India were too good today. They outplayed us in all the facets of the game. So look, we're going to have to look at a few things and see see what we need to do, because all the teams around the world now are improving all the time, and the standard of this World Cup has been as good as it's ever been. So there's a lot more teams competing up the top now, so we're very aware of that. And given the result today, we've got a fair bit of work to do to make sure that we keep getting better and are able to to beat sides like England and India who are in the final.
What are you going to take away from this tournament? What is Australia going to take away from this tournament?
Well, we came here to win, so obviously there's not a whole lot of positives. I thought we played some good cricket throughout. In patches though, we weren't able to really put the perfect game together and put our batting and bowling together in the one game. So I think there were glimpses there, but to win a World Cup you've got to be consistent and put together performances back to back, and I don't think we were quite able to do that throughout.
It's probably more for Molly than Meg, I'm not sure, but is there anything at this early stage you'd say which you would have done differently in this competition? Maybe
There'll be plenty. There'll be plenty. We'll look back and say we could have tried this, we could have tried that. We've got a culture where we throw things around. We've certainly brainstormed a lot of stuff. I think we played really good cricket most of the time. We had a bad patch against England and nearly got back into it. I suppose talking about things to take away, we should have been absolutely blown off the park there today, and the fact that we hung in there and kept it alive, I think we take that away, that Aussie spirit to the end. Alex Blackwell's innings there was pretty special, I think, and so those sort of things. But we've come here to win. We go away losing semi-finalists. I think we've lost to a bloody good team. I think they're a strong team. I think there'll be a great final. But we're very disappointed.
Meg, out there, I think you were saying that throughout the tournament, though, you didn't quite put a full game together. Was it different elements at different time, or was there a recurring theme where you thought maybe you were lacking?
I think it was different things at different times, and it was just sort of 10 over patches here and there where we sort of had the opposition, where we wanted, and then we just sort of let the foot off, and they were able to get back into the game. It's sort of hard to sort of put a finger on it right this moment. But there's certainly areas that we can improve and do better, and become a more consistent side, I guess, throughout games and tournaments. So, lots to look back at, I guess.
Your shoulder, is there a rehabilitation program for you now between now and the Ashes, which means you don't do anything, or is there an operation, or what kind of happens next between now and October?
I'll sort of work that out with the medical team over the next couple of days and a few weeks, and we'll decide what the best course of action is for that.
What would the review process be from here?
Look, normally there's a pretty exhaustive review. Pat Howard, the boss, will certainly ask some questions. So when we get home, we'll have to face the music, I guess, go through what went right, what went wrong, and there'll be a lot of questions asked, because we come here with the expectation to win. I think we had the team that could have won the competition and we didn't. So we've got to ask ourselves some tough questions, and now's not the time. We'll let it digest. We're hurting a fair bit at the moment, but there's certainly a lot of areas we need to work on. Don't think we can blame our preparation. We couldn't have prepared any better. We had a great setup. I think we were set up well to play well today, but they took it away from us, and we just got to make sure that we're better than that, so opposition can't do that to us.
In terms of going into this game, is Harmanpreet a player that you guys had identified as a real danger person and someone that you'd have to nullify?
Absolutely, yeah. We've seen what she can do before, and have 4 or 5 really good players. I think that's what makes them such a dangerous side. You know, they do try and play a similar brand of cricket to us, where they set it up at the start and aren't too adventurous. And I think the way they came home today was extraordinary, really. You know, the extra bowler, you know, you can argue whether that would have made a difference, but I think anyone who was bowling at that stage at the end was going. She was swinging hard and connecting with every single ball. So yeah, that makes it tough, but we've got to be better.
Sarah, Belinda and Willow only have 1 game each. Do you think they could have maybe had more in the group stages to see what they could do?
Oh, look, you always, you know, if you win, you say it's great that we've kept our team together. Willow was an interesting one because we did probably have her in our starting 11 at the start of the tournament, but she broke a finger and was just a little bit down on bowling. So that sort of put her chances of playing back a little bit. And Kristen Beams come in and did extremely well. So it was pretty hard to knock her out of her spot. She was, I think, 2nd leading wicket taker. Great economy, so that was the spot that was there for her. And the others, I think, you know, whether a balanced attack, whether it's 3 seamers and 2 spinners, I think in female cricket over the last 4 years, the spinners have far outperformed pace bowling. So I don't think that was a huge risk. I think it'll look like that in hindsight, but I still think our spinners have won us more games and they've lost us, that's for sure.
You talk about going home and like reviewing and everything else, but it's feel almost bad saying this, for all intents and purposes now, Meg, you're unemployed. You're all unemployed. So practically, what does that mean?
Oh, we haven't even thought about that, to be honest. We've been worrying about the game today, and you know, we know CA and the ACA have been working in the background there. So yeah, look, that'll all play out over the next couple of weeks. But to be honest, I don't think any of the playing group or the staff have given it much thought.
You came into the tournament.
In the tournament, previous the World T20 final and this tournament, you've been batted out of the game by 3 players who have played in the WBBL. How much has that opened up the competition in the world?
Oh, look, there's no doubt that the WBBL is a great competition, and it has attracted the best players around the world to it. So, you know, I guess it does expose them to, you know, high quality cricket under pressure. So, you know, it's an interesting stat that you sort of throw up there. But, you know, they're all world class players who are able to take it away from you on the day. And, yeah, unfortunately that's sort of happened to us over the last couple of World Cups.
Helps that they have an in-depth look at pretty much their entire bowling lineup?
Oh, I think it works both ways, to be honest. We get to see them a little bit more and they see us a little bit more. So, you know, that's the nature of cricket. It's happened in the men's game, and it's happening now in the women's game where, you know, you now play alongside, you know, other international stars, and you just got to adapt. I think that's the key, is making sure you keep improving your game so that you're always sort of one step ahead.
Sorry, last one.
You came into the tournament as favourites. It's quite a long tournament. It felt like there were more flaws coming up as it came on. Is that the way that you sort of saw the tournament breaking loose there?
Sorry, I didn't understand the question.
Well, essentially, like, everyone thought this was the star team coming in.
Yep.
And it seemed the longer the tournament went, the sort of more holes that the team had to fill, and maybe wasn't quite as strong as we thought it was. Is that how you kind of feel now? Or?
Oh, not really. I think, you know, it is a long tournament, and I thought we'd come into our own. I think we were pretty well prepared physically and mentally to do well, so I felt that we were getting better every game. You can always pick holes in different parts of teams, I guess, but we lost, leading into this game, we lost 1 game by 3 runs. I think we'd pretty much done everything that we'd wanted to do, ticked every box. So we always knew semi-finals, anyone can win them, and it would have been a great one to get through, but we ran into a player who was red hot today, and unfortunately, we're licking our wounds because of it. But I didn't think we were vulnerable until today. To be honest, I thought we were going to be peaking at exactly the right time.